So, academic students, you're about to take test 4-2 tomorrow on February 7th. So, what do you need to know in order to be successful? Well, you need to know the following. You need to know dependent variable, independent variable. You need to know how to, given a table, which side is the x, which side is the y. You need to know how to write an equation from the table. So let's practice that right now. So let's look at, let me get my pen going and let's read. Alicia is on a hill that is 10 meters above the sea level. Alicia sees a bird that is flying upward towards the sun. Alicia follows at a rate of 1 meter per minute. Represent her position y after any minutes, number of minutes x. All right, minutes here, position y. So after 0 minute, she's where? 10 meters. After 1 minute, she follows 1 meter per minute. So she's at 11. 2 minutes, she follows another 1 meter. So she's at 12, and so on and so on. So, first of all, which side is the dependent and which side is the independent? In science class, you learn something called dry mix. So if you forget, dependent is always on the y axis. Independent is always under the x-axis. Another way to say it is in science class, independent is the one that stays the same, while dependent is the one that changes. So these numbers will always stay the same, but these can change. So name the dependent, they are position 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. The independent is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So use the graph and table, write an equation that represents the relationship between x and y. So I always tell kids draw an arrow from x to y, arrow from x to y, arrow x to y. How do you turn a 0 to 10? Plus 10. 1 to 11? Plus 10. 2 to 12? Plus 10. 3 to 13? Plus 10. These numbers are about the minutes. What letter you see here? X. Y equal x plus 10. And then we add to find the answer. Let's look at the next one. This is a graph. This is x, this is y. So which side is the dependent and which one is the independent? So the y-axis is the dependent, the independent is the x-axis. Again, independent is the one that stays the same. It's always going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But these numbers will change. So this is xy. So we use, this is 0, 0. This point is at 1, 3. This point is at 2, 6. This order pair is 3, 9. What is the relationship between x and y to write the equation? Times 3, times 3, times 3, times 3. So we're multiplying these numbers, which are x times 3. Do you know another way to say x times 3? 3x. So the equation is y equals 3x. The question is, name the dependent variable. The dependent. So dependent are this side. So the dependent is a y, so 0, 3, 6, 9, y. The independent is the x, which is 0, 1, 2, 3. And we multiply here. So again, for the test, you need to know where is dependent. Dependent is always the y-axis, the independent, the x-axis. You need to write an equation. So when you get in a table, draw an arrow from x to y, from left to right, and then find a relationship. It's either adding or multiplying, and then write the equation. So which of the following does not represent an equation? An equation. An equation is where it has an equal. It's equal to something. This is an equation. This is an equation because it's equal to something. Twice a number is 6. What number is it equal to? 6. This one is not an equation because it does not tell you what it equals to. Number 8, write an expression equivalent to 3 groups of x plus 2. Some students prefer drawing the picture of 3 groups of x plus 2. So here's a group of x plus 2. Here's another group of x plus 2. Here's the third group of x plus 2. So we drew 3x's plus 6. But some people say, I want to do the area model. And I'm okay with that. So this is called the area model. You will definitely see the area model when you go into algebra. So it's 3 times x, or 3x. How do you find the area of this rectangle? 3 times 2 is 6. So 3x plus 6. Both of them are correct. And then last but not least, the last part of the test will be given equation. For example, if you have an equation like x plus 5 equals 7, or x minus 8 equals 10, the test will be over adding and subtracting equation. So I always tell kids, highlight the equal sign. Is this x isolated here? No. What is the opposite of adding? Subtracting. So I subtract 5 from both sides. I cancel. X equals 2. 2 plus 5 is 7. So here again, here's x. Is it isolated? No. What's the opposite of minus 8 or negative 8? Positive 8. Cancel. X equals 18. 18 minus 8 is 10. So here is our equation that we're given. Solve for p. So we add 214 and 8/10 to both sides. We cancel. If you add up these two numbers, it's 413 and 2/10 points. So number 10, here is an equation. So it says 4 equal x minus 3. So do you want to solve it using pictures, models, or do you want to solve it algebraically? Well, if you want to do the picture, is this x isolated? No. To undo this, to make it isolate, we add 3 to both sides. These cancel, so it's 7. But if you don't like doing it through tiles, what if you could do it algebraically? Here's the equal sign. Here's x. Is it isolated on the right side? No. We add 3 to both sides. This cancel. X equals 7 again. And number 11, same thing. Here's m. Here's the equal sign. Is m isolated? No. How do I get rid of $235.86? I subtract it from both sides. Cancel. If you subtract those two numbers, you get $687.89. And we have 12 and 13. So here's G. Here's the equal sign. Is it isolated on the left side? No. How do I undo negative 11 with positive 11? Cancel. 3 plus 11 is 14. Of course, I could draw the picture if you choose to. Here is negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, and 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, negative 8, negative 9, negative 10, negative 11, G equal, and positive 3. Is this isolated? No. So what do I need to do to this one? I add 11 positives. But I have to do it on both sides. 3, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5. All this cancels. And so that's why it's 14. And last but not least, here's the equal sign. Here's K. Is it isolated? No. How do I undo negative 12? Add 12 to both sides. Cancel. 12 with negative 2 is 10. K equals 10. And good luck on your test, upcoming test.